Everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're talking about PvP tips and a PvP guide. So first, I got my friend Shark here. He is pretty much one of the best storage players there are. Hi, Shark. Anyway, so first thing to get off my mind immediately is there is a pretty weird glitch of flicking right now where sometimes your shots will not do any damage. You want to show Shark? Just turning, spinning, and then flicking sometimes won't shoot. As you saw right there. If you look at that again. Some of them just aren't shooting. It's really weird. So careful when you do a bunch of flicks. Just remember not to overdo flicks in PvP now. If you are completely new to PvP, the best things to use is stuff and then your speed blessings. If you want to be super fast, you could use a speed juice, but I don't know why you would do that. Anyway, so all you're going to want to do is pop a stuff, pop a speed blessing, and you're pretty much this fast. So first thing you need to keep in mind is aiming and movement are going to be the most important things when it comes to PvP. So I'll show up some clips now. You're going to notice everybody flicks and all this other stuff. A normal PvP match would look like. Just remember to always hold a knife when you are PvPing. You want to just be careful not to get absolutely whooped in the first 2 seconds. Like, oh, that was nice. What I did right there was I flicked down at him and then shot him. I should also mention you're going to have really good timing because a lot of PvP includes you doing things like this, where it's you looking to the side or turning to the side and shooting as soon as you see their pixels. So just make sure if you are going to do PvP, you're getting into that pretty quick. Now, another thing to mention is you need good movement. You can't keep doing the same things over and over. You can't spam jump in one direction. You'll just instantly get killed. Always try to change your pattern up. Like always, like exactly what Shark's doing right now. Just keep changing your pattern no matter what you're doing because it makes it so hard to predict where you're going to go, and it's going to be way harder to get instant killed like that. When you PvP, the way you're going to aim is very simple. First of all, when you are PvPing, don't just spam your shots. You're more than likely not going to hit everything. I don't think you're like Shark here, but in the case that you are spamming, try to at least aim a little bit. When you aim, you want to shoot. Try when you shoot to get a perfect aim aside. If you shoot like this, you're going to do some pretty good damage, but assuming obviously the case of they're going to be jumping around and moving a lot. So you want to try to predict where they go. So as an example, if Shark were to turn this way as an example, and I shot him here, that would be a perfect predict because he moved that way. But if he stays there and I say that, I could have still hit a side shot like that, but more than likely I'm not going to get any damage at all because I wasn't predicting him right. So always try to predict where your enemy is going to go when you are PvPing. It gets a lot easier the more you fight them. Just keep that in mind. Another very important thing when it comes to PvP, especially when aiming, you always need to try to snipe. Now, a lot of people aren't good at this, a lot of people are. All you simply have to do is be ready to, basically what I like doing is shooting slightly up. That's the best way, in my opinion, to do it, but obviously other people might have better ways. That was a semi-snipe. I got a little too close, but you get the point. That's kind of what it looks like. Now, one more thing I should probably mention when it comes to spamming shots and everything. You're not supposed to always spam, but there are times you should spam. But just remember, try to reading your opponent well, try to predict, and try hitting your shots as much as possible. Okay, now we're going to show off how aiming works in action. Now, remember, for sniping, it's just doing that. Now, he is going to be fighting back, so... Oh. And there we go. Just remember, try not to be as, like I did right there, and too hard pushed. You always want to jump around, do different movements, that type of thing. You saw how I used sniping there? That is your main thing you want to use. Now, one more thing I am going to add now. Shark, if you don't mind coming over here. When you are fighting and stuff, make sure to always hold a knife no matter what you're doing. Thank you. Make sure to always hold a knife. And the reason you want to always hold a knife, you increase movement speed of holding knives. I think everybody knows this, but since it's a tutorial, might as well mention it. Always hold. And when you reload, this is something Shark taught me. All you have to do is shoot, slide, and then reload, so it's harder to actually hit you while you're reloading now. Remember, one of the most important things is keeping good movement, which is exactly what we're about to talk about. So, as you can see now, if I shoot and reload and then try to run, I can't really do it, so I get a lot slower. What you want to do is shoot, run, and then reload. That allows you to keep the constant speed. So, try to always be at the fastest you can get. Okay, so now going on more detail about movement. So what's very important about movement is realizing that movement is going to be the most important survival thing. Now, you could have really good aim, but you might win a lot of fights, but you also might lose a lot of fights because of bad movement. If you have bad movement, you're easy to track and easy to kill. As you can see from Shark right now, he's doing an absolute crap ton of random movements. This is exactly what you should be doing. If you get to a point where you're too predictable, then you will get immediately killed. It's just that's it. Anybody who's good can read you and you'll die. So you need to always try to randomize your movements. So if you're the type of person who likes staying still or jumping in one direction or spam jumping in one direction, try to change it up every now and then. The way I think about it is just doing random bullshit. That's literally all it is. Like, if I were to do this, just constantly running like this, what I want to do instead is turn and then jump back. That'll get them a lot a lot more confused. My bad. So just remember, always be careful with movement. It's going to be your next most important thing after aim. Some people even say it's more important. Next, we're going to be showing off Shark using his flick skills. He's like one of the best flickers I know, so it's just best to use him as an example. But when we 1v1, you're going to notice this is what flicking looks like in-game. So come on, Shark, let's go. So as you're going to notice, if I'm PvPing him normally, he's spinning like that. That is going to make it so it is a lot not only harder to hit him, oof, but also the fact... You see how he's doing a lot of damage to me and there's not really much I could do here? A lot of the reason he's missing a lot of shots, by the way, is just simply because he's trying not to kill me normally. He's trying to only kill me a flick, so ignore that. But as you can see, he's hitting a lot of shots of flick. And honestly, I'll show some clips now.
Looks like fucking... I don't remember, bro.
The reason flicking is so important is because you're able to easily hit random headshots by just flicking to the corner of the enemy. And that's basically just going to be very strong for you. So flicking is like one of the most important things for close range. Even in general, but mainly close range. Now, I did win this matchup, which is fine. Just remember, he was only trying to flick me there. So try to get into flicking. It is super important. I'll pull up a bunch of clips. I'm going to go quiet so y'all can watch the clips. So here's a few clips to watch while we, keep going. The next most important thing you need to know is about your playstyle. Your playstyle is going to be the most important thing when it comes to the storage, because if you don't know your playstyle, you're never really going to shine. For me, as an example, I'm better at sniping. I have had a few people mention that. I am a lot better at sniping. And the way you can tell is by the way you usually hit your shots. If you can hit your shots more consecutively using long range and sniping, then that's definitely your playstyle. Then definitely stay away from other people at close range. Try to avoid close range fights at all cost. If you need to fight close range, you obviously can. You know how it goes. If you're better at close range, you usually want to rush people, like absolute bum rush people, because you're just going to hit more shots. And most people are honestly seem to be snipers, so definitely figure out what you are. You could be in the middle ground where you're really good at both, but not really a lot of people are good at that. But try to find what you are best at. That's going to be your next most important tip when it comes to things. Next thing I want to mention is the places you need to actually buy your resources from. First is Gunner Jace. Thank you, Shark, for actually keeping them here. Always buy the armor pads, medium and light ammo packs for PvP. They're usually important. SMGs and LMGs are used in PvP every now and then. I wouldn't recommend it. Only use double barrels because it's like the actual PvP method. Using an LMG, you're kind of seen as like... My bad, my mic ended up cutting out. What you need to know is Gunner Jace and the leader are going to be the best places for PvP, and the blessings, obviously, because, you need the stuff and everything. Not the stuff specifically, but the stuff specifically is for like that worker guy. I don't know what the hell his name is. I just know he's a person, so buy stuff, buy armor pads, all that. Coleman, that's his name, right? So always buy that type of stuff. That's what you need. As for where to get your guns and stuff, you usually get them in PvP once you're good enough. So try to PvP every now and then, but where to get the most double barrels and stuff is going to be in the basement. Just farm the basement for a good amount of time, maybe like an hour, and you'll immediately have all your resources up for everything. Stuff, blessings, everything you need for PvP, even armor pads you get from basement. So if you want resources for it, just farm basement. If you need a basement tutorial or a best way to actually deal with the basement, I'll go ahead and show on screen and put it in the description right now of a tutorial I already made for the basement. So good luck on that. And that is where you get your weapons. Next thing I want to mention, this is going to be the last thing before we get into bases and stuff, but just always remember the things not to do when it comes to PvP. Don't be like that guy. Do not wall hug. Do not wall hug. Like, it's. I'll just say it how it is. It's for bitches. Don't wall hug. Don't abuse glitches in PvP. That's not a good look. Don't abuse wall hugging. Don't hide behind corners. Do not peek corners only and camp behind them. Don't slide off of bases. Don't do any of that. The last thing is especially do not base camp. Whatever you do, cool, you're getting 2 or 3 resources. It's gonna be so cute and all until you got half of the community hating you and targeting you every game. Do not do it. It's just not worth it. Trust me. Everybody's seen it. Just don't do it. I know I said the last thing I was gonna say before the base thing, but let's just go ahead and say this now. If you want to know what you're gonna get for killing players and stuff, first is the Menace skin pack, which you get for defeating 1,000 players. The second is going to be the most wanted title. This is the most looked for title usually from noobs, but it's accumulate 5,000 bounty to your name. You kind of get this over time. If you want the best way to do it, just store your bounty on your alt, but don't be that type of guy who just only does that. You know, it's not really impressive if you don't actually earn it, and it'll actually feel a lot better if you actually earn it. But the skins, this is what they look like. There is no knife skin for it, but there's the Menace revolver, the Menace SMG, AK, LMG, shotgun, double barrel, and there's no turret skin for it. So I would say overall it's a very good thing. And also, I'm not going to say what with it, but this skin right here is a pretty strong skin. But anyway, that is going to be it for the Menace stuff and the most wanted. I should probably also mention most wanted is currently the most seeked for title. It's also so clean, so I mean, hey, if you want to put in the work for it, go ahead. It is a pretty good title. Next thing is what you should do for a base PvP. Now, obviously, you're going to need a PvP base. What this means is a way to easily get in and out of your base while being safe, while not being able to get absolutely tormented by good players. First advice I got off the bat is my bushes right here. Don't do what I did and leave this gap open. As you could see what Shark keeps doing. If I come up here, he's literally shooting through it because he's jumping up and shooting. Always add an extra layer. I'll fix that in a little bit once the video's up. But what you're going to also need is a bunch of turrets to make sure nobody comes in. If anybody comes in, they'll practically instantly die like this. So just make sure you have a good amount of defense. And the next thing, which is also extremely important, is going to be chairs. Abuse this glitch while it is still a thing. The reason is, as you can see, this is the office chair right here. It's very cheap, and all you have to do is go to it, sit, and we are outside of the base. Wait, but is there a way to go back with this bug? Yes, there is. Hug against the wall, and you'll be able to come back in if you have a chair placed like this. It is sometimes a little bit fidgy, so you might mess up doing it, but all you have to do is put a certain chair. Specifically, it's the luxury chairs, if that's their names, against the wall, and you'll be able to just jump back in. So, yeah. But just remember, you're always going to want a safe and a workbench. Now, if you're having a hacker problem, put the bench and the safe right next to your bed so you can easily access it while you still have your shield. And remember, in the worst case of that you're actually like getting teamed on or something and everybody's bum pushing you, you know, that type of thing, just respawn if you're not in combat, so then you don't really have to worry about it. Like, let's say Shark was chasing me right now, all I have to do is respawn, and there you go. Now he can't steal my loot or anything. I'm perfectly safe and I have all my stuff. This is exactly how you're supposed to PvP properly if you were getting teamed on. Again, don't do what I did where he could shoot over because I will die like this. Next thing I want to mention is 2 different things. First of all, especially this is one of the most important things with PvP I see a lot of people mess up with is the knife skin. Believe it or not, this is very important. So as you could tell, for this knife skin, specifically in its other color variants, I don't really know how to say the name properly, so forgive me on it. When I switch between it, you see the spinny animation? This is what it does for the double barrel, which will actually make your shots a tad bit less accurate, as you can see here. Things just feel a lot... See how it went down instead of in the middle when I'm aiming at the middle? Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It's pretty weird. I wouldn't use Karm if you want to main PvP. Just try to get into it, but you can just remember you can master it. It is a thing. Just be careful with it. And the last thing is learning how to properly use movement. I completely forgot to mention this before. Now, when you are PvPing, always switch between knife and double barrel to remain at a constant speed. This makes speedy playstyle so much more easy, and it makes you a lot better as a player too. So just make sure you're knife switching. That's so important. Okay, and that's going to be it for this video. Now, I want to give credit to a few people that have been very helpful in this video on making this because I got a lot of advice for them about a lot of this, which was Shark, thank you, mainly you, for the actual gameplay and helping me out with making this video. I want to mention TK, you were like the whole reason I even started this whole idea. Bumper, thank you for the advice on a lot of this, and that is about it for today's video. Now, the last thing I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to go ahead and add some clips of PvP and stuff so you guys can have some extra stuff to watch. I swear this isn't just for watch time. This is just kind of like something I wanted to do. I swear. I promise y'all. I would never do y'all like that. So here's some epic clips that some of my friends and some pros have sent me. So enjoy watching.
Shark, is it 4 to 1? Is it 4 to 1, Shark?
4-1 on your servers?